Hello YouTube, this is Skippy Oshura, and this is the 5th part of our campaign, playing as Pontus for Rome 2 Total War. And this is going to be a really weird part because I recorded this entire video and suddenly looked at where files should be and they were disappeared. But do not worry, all is not lost. I saved an important replay of a very important battle, and yeah, so I'll be able to show that to you, and I'll quickly explain what happens, and it probably will save the sweet minutes of your life. So basically, I'm in a food deficit. It says I have a food surplus, but that's not at all true. Yeah, so my troops are depleting, so they're not going to replenish as much. I started building some of these buildings just to get these provinces up and running. I've recently acquired from the Armenians, and basically what happened, because I just took these provinces and yeah, I moved on pretty quickly, took 2 new provinces, people were pretty upset with me taking them, so they eventually rebelled and an army started to gather right here next to this province, and I own this little army. So I started recruiting units like crazy, and I eventually even hired some mercenaries, and so I had this little army, but then what happened, their army started getting depleted as well. I'd built up a few troops, I'd start replenishing them, but they weren't really fully replenished yet. And so I was like, okay, well I can get rid of my mercenaries now, it's all good. And then in that turn, the enemy attacked me. And I figured I'd pretty much lost this battle, but I recorded the battle, I had it there, I was commentating on it, but I will redo it just for you. So I'll go show you that battle now. So here was the battle we were fighting. It was against these huge rebel army, and I had these depleted troops on the left here. And yeah, I figured I'd lost it. I figured there was no chance. So yeah, I had all my troops here in the center, and started to realize that the enemy deployed over here. I thought they were going to deploy over there, so I quickly redeployed them. And yeah, I figured the only way I could really do this was hold choke, because I only had these poor slingers, sorry that's really loud, poor eastern spearmen. I had 1 unit of pikemen, but they were only levied pikemen. I even had some really bad units, which were pretty much peasants, mob. I had my chariots though, I had my recently acquired chariots, and yeah, I don't know, probably wasn't even talking when I was recording this because I was so worried. But here, because we see the massive enemy armies, and although they're pretty bad qualities too, the hillmen are better than the eastern spearmen that I have. And yeah, so my only hope was to hold this choke. I put my mob in front so I could absorb, I could sacrifice them. Sounds a bit disgusting, but I don't know. Sacrifices had to be made. And yeah, I had these guys, I put them in square formation so they would hold better. And put these heavy piked here, even though they're only levy pikes, but yeah, see the huge massive enemy here. And here we are, just waiting for the enemy to come. So here we are a bit further in the battle, just skipped a little boring bit where the AI wasn't doing anything. They're trying to flank me, but it's really weird, they're flanking me with archers. And I did not understand this. This is where the AI is just shocking. This is hard difficulty and they're not doing anything. And I realized, yeah, I put all my slingers on precision shot there, because they started charging down the center, just slaughtering my mob. But there. They even ran straight into my levy pikemen, but they got sort of crushed there, and yeah, they routed on that. You don't just run through pikemen. And then there was this huge force of spearmen, but thankfully I had my guys in square formation here. But yeah, I didn't get why they're trying to flank with these weak archer units, these javelin men here, these archers here. I was really confused. Yeah, but yeah, so they start routing already, but here comes the main force. Let's see if we can get a good view on this. Yeah, so my mob just running there. And here comes the main force. Ugh. yeah, they just plow. Look at that huge amount of men. It's just, oh, it looks disgusting. It's just, they just piled there. But my pikemen are still holding here. You can see them, but they're pretty overwhelmed. And I was like, oh shit, what am I going to do? And they break into my slingers. I eventually, I think, pulled my guys back. And I figured, yeah, they just broke straight through. I was lost here. But then I noticed their morale is going down a lot. So I was thinking, oh, maybe I could do this. And they start routing. They all start routing, and I'm really surprised. And sure, they're beating me pretty well here. But morale is what wins battles. And I brought my chariots in, and look, their guys had no chance against chariots. They're just getting smashed. They're noble blood cavalry. And look, all their units somehow routed. That's just the AI being really stupid. They just... Look, my pikemen still here. Look at this mess on the ground here. They just... Ugh. So yeah, that was how I won this ridiculous battle. I still lost like heaps of troops, but thankfully they were not good quality troops. Like, I'm surprised these troops held out. Like, this unit, it stayed here. It survived. I was pretty impressed. So yeah, then after that, I'd basically just use my chariots to chase down all the enemy units, and look at them. Look at them coming here. It's beautiful. There we go. We get the first person view. Oh, speed up the battle a bit. Come on. I'm supposed to be getting lots of kills, not just dawdling around here. Okay, maybe they didn't want to. They're on strike today. But yeah, before, when they were just all in this little choke, it looked like a huge. I know it sounds wrong saying this. I don't know, sort of racist in a sense, but they looked like a sea of rats. So all wearing those grey coats and the huge, weird AI bug mob thing. Look at this. But yeah, that was the battle. That's how we held onto this province. Pretty spectacular. And so yeah, once we did that, we renamed the army. I was trying to think of a good name, and I thought Diaz. I was thinking of something like Diaz Irae. That musical motif, and then I don't know, rebels sort of thought, because they crushed that rebel army, and then Diaz rebels, and then I realized it just says Diaz rebels. I thought that is so ridiculous, I'm keeping it. So this is going to be the infamous Diaz rebels army, and I was almost going to disband all these units, but I felt I have attachment to them. They won me that glorious victory at Asa Mosata. And yeah, then I just brought this army down from the Armenian capital that I conquered before. You saw me do that in the previous part. I just brought them straight down, straight onto Tushpa, conquered the remaining forces, and it was an easy victory. And yeah, that's where the video finished off. Obviously doing some research the whole time. I haven't really been showing all the research because, I don't know, it's not that interesting. Sure, it's been interesting to see what sort of things I'm trying to build, but it's all fairly general, just bonuses, more buildings to build, stuff like that. And yeah, that's where we ended the 5th part. So, if you enjoyed this slightly strange part of the video, please enjoy. If you enjoyed it, please enjoy. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. No, if you enjoyed it, please like, please comment, please subscribe, blah 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 blah. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next part, which I will hopefully actually be recording as I play it. Thanks!